Hi everyone and welcome to 1/6 Figure Focus. And you're very welcome to episode number 9, I believe, of The Hope Show, a weekly live stream dedicated to collecting pop culture, movies, TV, all that kind of stuff. So I always like when there's 4 people on the panel. It just seems to fit really nice. But we might have Lael, the 1/6 scale man, joining us later on. I did send him the link. So, folks, how are we? How was your last few weeks? I've been kind of off the radar, but how are we all?
All doing great.
Good, thanks.
Good stuff. Thanks very much for agreeing to come on and do this. We got a kind of a fairly packed schedule of events here and things to talk about. Some of which have been spoken about already. Some of which we'll delve into a bit more detail. Some of we'll gloss over, and then of course we'll have our main focus where we're going to talk about the space issue. Because I think the two biggest enemies and source of frustration of a collector, or things that limit your collecting and what you can collect, is I suppose that we all agree, money and space. You know, I presume they're the two things. So yeah, really quickly. So you got Dan and Carbonate. We have Ancient Silver Fox, Ian, and we have Mike L as well. So thanks very much for joining us, and thank you very much to 19 people. We've got 19 people in the chat already. Good stuff. That's excellent. Really do appreciate that. So I suppose, look, we'll address the chat anyway, and then we'll get on with it. All right. So we got Tragedy Tales, who's in here, a channel member, just warming up the crowd, and Bubba Fettuccini as well, a channel member. Great to see you. Figurassic Park. This man's photography is amazing. I was admiring and sharing some of his photography today. If you haven't done so already, definitely check out Figurassic Park. He's just a very creative individual. Got David L as well, who informs me that the ankle joints on the quarter scale Dark Knight are not good, but I'm a believer. I believe that you got a bad one, I'm going to get a good one. I'm a positive thinker, you know. So am I streaming slowly? Am I lagging? Or
no? I keep lagging. Is anyone else getting that, or is it just me?
I don't know. It looks good to me, but
yeah,
okay,
it looks
all
good.
Right.
Looks
Cool.
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, you haven't paused or anything like that, but
No. But keep it going. Keep going.
Cool. Maybe if people in the channel just want to kind of let us know if anyone's lagging or anyone's glitching or what the levels are like. Hopefully the music isn't too loud, and hopefully you can hear us talking, but just let us know, and we can adjust our levels accordingly. We got Payton23, channel member, great to see you. Tragedy Tales says Andrew Garfield Spider-Man releasing this week, apparently. Good stuff. I hope that's true. A lot of people will be happy. We got Mike Ellen's exclamation marks. We got Shiny with his typical shiny humor. We got KS saying, Shane, how are you doing, man? Great to see you. Ian, of course, warming up the chat as well. We got Ryan Smith, another dedicated Dark Knight fan and Batman fan in general. We've got, who else do we got? We got Chuli, channel member, saying, Shane O'Mac, how's it going? How are you doing? Chuli's fan of the intro. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Is this a Scobie 131? I actually really like that. I hope it was a Scooby one or Scobie. No, that'd be Scobie one. I do appreciate that kind of humor. Good stuff. I think we're kind of, anyone else? Focus didn't type Mike's full name. It's disrespectful. Actually, the users here on StreamYard get to decide your full name, so Mike is actually being respectful.
yeah. Blame me for that one, Shiny.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah, so no lag here, boys. Thanks, Shiny. I do appreciate the feedback. We got Keith. Matt Keaton, Star Wars Celebration in London. Blitz 0065, absolute legend, gentlemen. Great to see you here as well. And Tally Meyer, all the way from Germany. Good stuff. We will check in with the chat, obviously, at regular intervals. Really quickly, I just want to give a shout out to the members before I outline. I don't want to hold you hostage. I want to tell you what we're going to be talking about. If you see these topics and you're kind of going, I've heard all that before, you know, you can obviously, I don't want to waste your time, you know what I mean? So, but like, hopefully you'll stick around. So these aren't new members, these are just members. I need to actually change this because I just like to recognize the contributions and the support of the channel members at the start of every live stream. So I got to change this. Instead of saying new channel members, just channel member. Right, so we got the troopers. First of all, we got Mugwump, we got Stephen Rinks, we got Mike, who's in the building, we got Payton23 who's in the building, we got Shooty who's in the building, Bendu, Windu, Ryan Smith who's also in the building. The commander tier, then we got Tragedy Tales. I believe I saw him in the building as well. The 6 scale gallery, Alan unfortunately couldn't join us today, but hopefully he'll be back next week. X-Man Supreme, 12-inch Moose Stream. We got Philip the Fool, Keith the 6 scale Padawan, Mark Mitchell, William Owens, Brandon Salad. We got Empire Strikes Again. Phil, I think I saw him there earlier on. Collecting Weekly, they're a big deal. People know them. We got Boba Fettuccini, who is in the building as well. Massive appreciate and shout out to all the troopers and the commanders. It does the support is humbling and very much appreciated. So this is what we're going to be talking about. I got to bring Dan back in here. Sorry, Dan.
All right, my thing keeps lagging. I'll keep it. I'll keep.
Cool. We actually aren't noticing on our end. Or what about you, Ian or Mike? You noticed it on your end, or?
I haven't.
Yeah, it seems fine, but maybe
it might be just me. So I'll keep on it.
Cool. So we're going to start off with just pickups and drop-offs. Fairly obvious stuff. Have you pre-ordered anything this week? Did you get anything in this week? Or did you sell anything? Because that would probably tie into the main topic about the space conundrum. So yeah, folks, just anyone want to chime in there? Any pickups or drop-offs this week?
Well, I'm monitoring UPS right now. I'm expecting another Bad Batch figure. So Crosshair should be on the way any moment.
Good stuff. Are you going to complete the line?
Yes. Yep. Got the other 2 on pre-order.
Ah, right. So there's 5 in total, yeah?
Yep.
And you have 2, you're waiting on 1 and the other 2 on pre-order?
Yep. Got 2 right there. Right there. And
good stuff.
1 on the way, and then the other 2 pre-order. I think those are a while away, though.
Yeah. Yeah, because they've put them all up for pre-order now currently, haven't they?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, and the chat as well. Feel free to chime in and just post if you picked anything up this week. Did you have that lucky dopamine hit when FedEx or DHL or UPS pulls up and they have your brand new collectible? So you got you're waiting on Crosshair, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, waiting on Crosshair today.
You have the other 2 behind you, and then you've got the other 2 on pre-order. I'm a trooper collector. It's one of my weaknesses, it's like I'm always banging on about something has to be a triple threat or I'm selective, but collecting troopers is like complete opposite of that, like, because troopers are awesome and they drop them so much. But I've yet to watch the Bad Batch. I'm kind of scared to watch. I've heard her second season in particular is really, really good, but those troopers, they look awesome. All 5 of them, they're just very unique looking troopers. I've always liked that idea of, like, those movies where you have just a task force specifically sent in to do some sort of a job, like whether it's Predator or Alien, and it doesn't go according to plan, but that's part of the entertainment of the movie, I suppose.
That's such an appealing trope.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It absolutely is, and I fall for it every time, hook, line, and sinker.
Me too.
Give us all those tropes. So you're waiting on, is it FedEx or UPS?
UPS, yep.
Gotcha.
So getting in before the strike. We'll see. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
I heard that could be a thing.
It could be a thing, yeah. And, what I was going to say, though, is Season 7 of Clone Wars, which I know you haven't gotten to yet. That's where you first see the Bad Batch. And
I see.
They're introduced in a way that I think set them up for their show that did a little bit of a disservice to what they planned for the show. So Season 7 sets them up as like these badass, like, commando guys, and the show takes more of a delicate approach to their missions, so to speak.
Right.
If that makes any sense. Yeah.
Gotcha. I must.
But
I'm looking forward to the Clone Wars, to finish the Clone Wars, or getting onto the kind of real meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah, I think you're about there now. It should start. I
have noticed that, like, I watched them. I'm doing a bit of work or whatever, and I'll have it on. Like, it's kind of on the background, I suppose. But like the first 2 seasons, I very rarely looked up or there was nothing like that really drew me in. But then the third season, I started looking a bit more, and the fourth season definitely I have been like, oh, that's pretty cool. Even the animation style is better, and it seems to get darker, seems to get more just more appealing. Like the episode I was watching today was about the we got those, I can't remember the guy's name. He's the same species as I think Dex, and he's trying to screw over the clones. He's giving them terrible orders and stuff like that, and putting them against you. That was pretty interesting.
That's an all-out war episode, man.
Yeah,
like,
man,
that's
that
a lot
was
of fun.
interesting. That was interesting. I definitely looked and tuned in more than I normally would. So we got number 5. We got the number 5 of the Bad Batch. Okay, and then there were 5.
Hey.
We got Crosshair here.
What's up, brother?
Good, all good. We're just discussing pickups and drop-offs.
Yep.
So get anything in this week? Did you pre-order anything, or did you sell anything? I doubt you sold anything, but like
I don't sell.
No.
Unless I have doubles or something, and and I don't necessarily need the secondary, then I'll sell. But I've never gotten this hobby to sell anything. The passion is just too much. It's the fire is just too much in the passion for me, man. So you already know how that is. Yeah, I have Crosshair and Fennec showing up tomorrow. No, not Fennec. Casca showing up tomorrow. Fennec showed up last week, and Moon Knight should be shipping Wednesday. So that's
good stuff.
Yeah,
Good stuff. So
that's
are you happy with Fennec?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
was looking at that today.
Hell yeah.
I missed out. Obviously I was living my best life, and then came back, and I was like, all right, 5 or 6 videos to make, and I was like, I'm just gonna make one all in one. But that head sculpt.
Bro, it's top tier.
So
it
good.
is.
So good.
It's definitely a contender for like top of the year, like one of the top of the years when it comes to like just that head sculpt itself. At least top 5. At least top 5 conversation.
It could be the best head sculpt, female head sculpt ever.
Yeah.
For Hot Toys,
It could be
unbelievable.
It could definitely be, man.
Yeah.
Like it's, I had to weigh it because I know Casca Reeves will be here tomorrow, but the Fennec, like it looks too much like Ming Na Wen. And what would have probably even set it over the top even further is if they had that rolling eyes technology, the purrs. That would have been incredible.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's still, but it still doesn't top. It will never ever, ever top, my lady back there, bro. Never. Jen. Hell no.
I'm jealous, man. Yeah.
Hell no.
Hey, do you guys ever feel like with all these great head sculpts that we're not displaying any figures with helmets on, and it's they're all holding their
what
helmet?
I've got up there is exactly the same. I got Costa in this week, Fennec, Cad Bane, King Shark, and I sold about 6 figures this week, and it's been quite crazy. It's just been the post, just because basically I got rid of them all my troopers just to make space, because I needed the space. We're talking about this tonight. It's going to be a perfect thing, and I got rid of all the troopers just to get some space. But what you just said, Mike, is that I've got Bo-Katan, Fennec, and Casca without the head sculpts on. You had the helmets on because they just they're too good to not.
It's too stunning, bro. It's stunning to have that helmet on. Is like a disservice.
Yeah.
So what I did was, well, of course, everybody knows I got 2 Fennecs. Actually, 3. 3.
One for the dash.
Yeah. So, but one with the helmet on, one without, and with Casca, I'll probably end up doing the same thing because, again, you can't go wrong. You definitely can't go wrong with having that helmet off, man. It's too beautiful, bro. It's definitely too beautiful.
Yeah, that one for sure.
Yeah. You can even see the likeness come through when you have the helmet on.
Shane, Whale clearly doesn't have a space issue.
No.
3 Fennecs.
See that? Like, because I was about to say, like,
I'm surprised, like, Ian's on here with clothes on, bro. He's usually butt ass naked, so I'm just surprised that he has clothes on right now.
Wait, new contract, man. New contract. I said, come on, gonna keep this PG-13. We might be talking about Deadpool, but that's as R-rated as we're gonna get.
You don't want me standing up.
No,
No, not with you. It's just-
Hey, but you know what? Literally, I was talking to Toy the other day because we saw you, the picture of you in the kilt, looking sharp.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I want one. I literally want one. I was like, yo, I need to have me one. I would definitely wear that shit. That's well, excuse the expression. I would definitely wear it around here. Put it that way. So I need one. I would love to wear it. Definitely.
Well, and you'd have to be a true honorary Scotsman and be butt naked underneath.
Lael Wallace, man. Lael Wallace.
Leo Wallace, right? There you go.
Yeah,
there you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Right? There you go.
So you got a few pieces coming in. We spoke to Mike. Dan, you got a few in as well this week. But you mentioned you sold 6. Tell us what you got in and tell us what went out.
So what I said before is like I got. Well, last week was mad, wasn't it? I mean, you were away, but it was. If you're a Star Wars fan, it was like, what? No, oh my
Crazy.
God, really? Like that, and I think
Non-stop.
It was really bad. It was just one of those where it was like, as I'm one of those in the UK, it's quite hard to we haven't got Sideshow, so it's quite hard to pre-order, if you know what I mean. So I go straight to Hong Kong, so it's quite it's quite intense. Everyone knows if you buy from Hong Kong, or I use someone in the UK that buys from Hong Kong now. It's quite, that first hour is like, now you've got to get it, you've got to get it, you've got to get it. And everyone's like, let's get on there, like things. So for 3-4 days, it's been quite hectic for that, because they're all figures that I wanted. So I got Cad Bane, Fennec, Costa Reeves, and also when I've been away for a little bit and I watched the Suicide Squad again, James Gunn's Suicide Squad. And I loved King Shark in it, and I've got a few, sort of DCU figures, and I picked up King Shark, which is actually, I'm a massive Jaws fan as well, which you probably know, which we spoke about before. So that figure is a Power Pose figure, but it's amazing. It's so, I mean, you can see it behind, just here, just there, and it's a big lump of plastic, obviously, but it's a really cool thing for me. So I picked that up, but I made the decision to sell my troopers. I had like an array of troopers: Storm, Snow, Scout, Mud, and we all go through. Obviously, Leo, you don't sell, but it's hard. Not for me. I've always been in that thing of I have to sell to buy to sell, whatever it is.
I do occasionally, depending on, like, for instance, I think the last figure, or the figure I actually have up for sale right now, but I'm finding that it's hard to really sell it. Is Mando, not the Chrome Mando, but the Beskar Mando. Because I'm kind of unloading that one. Now I was unloading it. It's that one, I think it's the set with Grogu, of course, for like 200. Still can't get rid of it.
No, that's one thing I was going to say, which you were saying is I've sold a few of the troopers, but we are in the work. I've been collecting, we've talked about this before, Hot Toys since like 2010. This is the worst it's ever been on the secondary market.
Oh yeah,
people are just giving stuff away, if you know what I mean. Like or not even, they can't even give them away, if you know what I mean. So I've just 80% eBay fees day, and they're going to sit on there for a bit and just see how it goes. But I think everyone's in the same boat. It's hard unless you've got. I mean, the Snow Trooper went instantly, because obviously everyone wants the Snow Trooper. But the other troopers, I mean, that Shore Trooper now, you can get it for, it's going down to near £100 for a Shore Trooper grunt. It's crazy.
And they're all beautiful designs, but I get where you're coming from as well.
I just needed space, mate. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
I get where you're coming from. Yeah. So, Ian, did you have any like pickups or drop-offs this week?
Yeah, this has been quite a big week. So I've actually went out of my lane. So I've got 9 figures coming right now. So I decided.
Sorry, what did you say?
9. So I've got 7 Star Wars.
You mad, bro?
So yeah, so they are from a certain company that are shipped for 2 weeks now. So I've got IG-11, which I wasn't going to pick up but I've now decided I want a full shelf of every single bounty hunter. I decided to go. I was waiting on something else coming out with Bo-Katan, but I just ordered that. I've got Cosca Reeves, Boba Fett, the repaint one. I was waiting on the other one that's coming out in November, but I decided to cancel that. Cad Bane, and then with loving Bo-Katan and Cosca, I decided to get Axe Wolves, even though there's not any head sculpt, and Fennec Shand. And then I've got the 66 Batman and Robin coming, Saturn Toys. And then I ordered the 66 Riddler from Mars Toys. That's what I've done recently. So 9 should be here whenever that certain company decides to actually ship them.
Yes.
I'm gonna light a candle for you, mate. But that's a pretty.
The topic will be that they'll be sitting in a box until the next Modu Case delivery comes.
Right.
So because there's no room.
That's my life. Yeah.
We'll definitely be speaking about that later on in the show. So but would it be right in saying like that's not a normal week for you? Like that
No.
could not possibly. That's like a kind of a perfect storm. Really, a bunch of things arrived at the same time, or will be arriving at the same time, and dropped the same. Wouldn't that be fair to say? Or
Yeah, and obviously I changed tact. I started off saying I'd only collect the OT Star Wars. Then that slowly changed. So, and it's because it's quite hard because Star Wars is so much good content. So, this is an unusual week, very unusual. It's been a sore one, but it's unusual.
it'll be pretty exciting when a bunch of those things start getting arrived and you're posing them up and stuff. Well, I suppose you got to wait for the Modu Cases, but you'll be able to have a peek anyway.
Yeah, and I was looking today. I was updating my list, and I've got 27 pre-orders now. I thought it was less than that, so yeah.
It's not that it's a lot, but it's not like I notice people in the 40s and 50s and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's and would that be 27 including the 9 you have coming? Like when they arrive, will you drop down to? Oh right, okay. Yeah, you're getting up there, right, Ian. But yeah, it's exciting times. So really quickly, just want to give a shout out to I don't think there's a few people who I don't think my channel would exist if it wasn't for their channels, like, you know. So and this Brian Fontaine is one of them with the 6 scale scavenger. So we must get you on here sometime. If you ever want to skive off work during the day, Brian, you just let me know. We'll bring you in. Great to have you there. Mike is saying 27 pre-orders. Good for you. I don't feel so bad now. So does that mean you have more, Mike? Spill the beans. Right, really quickly, what did I get in? Okay, I got in. These are really exciting. I'm going to be very careful with these. So these are CCFLs for Ahsoka. There, one second if I get this. Alright, so these are by Art15 Customs. They're 2 CCFLs for Ahsoka. I didn't realize until today that one of the blades is actually shorter, and I thought, did this guy mess up? And then I went and googled it and looked at it, and even the Hot Toys one, yeah, the one with the shorter hilt is a shorter style of lightsaber, and I went reading about it. But looking forward to getting them posed up onto Ahsoka. I might take off the cloak or the poncho tomorrow and expose those shoulders and stuff like that and get them posed up. So they arrived in. I also got a CCFL for Bespin Luke, and today I got the last thing I actually got in was Bespin Luke, and I got that in before I went traveling. I just unboxed it and posed it up and did a short video. But today I plugged that base in with the micro USB. Oh my god. That, like, as a person who doesn't typically use bases because I have no interest in the sand bases or the normal rectangular or octagon base or the diamond bases, but this, to call it a base is almost insulting. It is a diorama environmental piece. It is absolutely beautiful. When it lights up, just it sets it off. And I posed it up with the CCFL as well, and it looks amazing. So I wanted to see if it tests, but I need to. I got a bit of work to do tomorrow. I won't be doing any videos tomorrow. I'm gonna. I got to drill a few holes and stuff like that, and wire up some CCFLs and fusion reactors. So really looking forward to that, and I will share it. But yeah, so we got the pair of Ahsoka live action Rosario Dawson CCFLs by R15 Custom. We got the Besman Luke CCFL as well. And I pre-ordered 2 things during the week. One was Cad Bane. We might touch on that later on, but really quickly, I'm not going to spend too long on this. I just want to show you this particular thing. If I get this right. Okay. So is that sharing there? It is not. Give me 1 second. Okay, so if anyone is a fan of Peaky Blinders in the chat, please just type it into the chat. I'm a big fan of Peaky Blinders. Watched all the season, all the season. I'm gonna go back and rewatch as well. Big fan of Cillian Murphy as well. He's obviously one of our own. He's a native of Ireland, the south of Ireland, a place called Cork. He's been in the Dark Knight trilogy. He's been in numerous Christopher Nolan movies. So there's a lot of positivity there. Love this performance in Peaky Blinders in particular. So these particular figures by Big Chief Studios, I was really keen on them. Now, I just want to explain just really quickly, right?
You've wanted these for ages, mate, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been threatening back and forth, and I saw Dean Knight's review and Lancelot Nerds Corner's review and stuff like that, and you know, like Dean Knight basically said like he was really happy with them overall. One thing he did say is it kind of, because of the layering, it can kind of look like they've no necks, but what he did was he pulled up the head sculpt a bit, not completely detached or anything, it's still on, just pulled it up a bit to give the neck a little bit more length, and it looked a lot better, and he did a great showcase in it. Really keen on these, but there's 2 different versions, right? When I checked this in May, there was the signature versions for £300 each, and that is expensive, and then there was the collector versions for £260 each. Now the difference between the 2 of them is the one for £300 each, the signature series, they're limited to 400 pieces each. That's very low. Now, I don't collect for exclusiveness or limited or anything like that. It's a nice touch and all that, but what the real draw is, the ones that are limited, the ones for £300 each, they're signed. It comes with like a kind of an actual aluminium kind of a plate, and the Thomas Shelby is actually signed by Cillian Murphy. It's not a print, it's actually signed by Cillian Murphy, and the other one is signed by Paul Anderson. Now back in May, I was so close to pulling the trigger, but then I just kind of realized, no, look, this is not the right time, and I had to exercise a bit of, as Leia would say, I had to be financially responsible, and I held off. And I was in Sri Lanka the other day, and just came back from doing a day trip, and I just logged on. I said, I wonder if there's doing any sales, and sure enough, now wait until you see this, right? So the Tommy Shelby was £300 down to £160. That is massive. So if I had bought in May, I would have ended up paying like the £300, whatever. Now, when I brought them to the till, I actually got the price under here, not £160 each, but £133 each, and it's £24 shipping. Because I'm not from England, it's sort of be no VAT. It gets shipped out. Now, I will get hit with customs, but they'll still be considerably cheaper than £300, like, you know. So I just thought that was like, it pays to wait sometimes. Sometimes it can go the other way and you can get stung and they can sell out. And I was a bit concerned of them selling out because there are only 400 each. And the fact that this guy could be on the way to getting an Oscar. If Oppenheimer is as good as the hype is, and I know it's that kind of movie that it might get a few Oscar nods. It has a Dunkirk vibes off it. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that. But that'd be a nice memento, like to have an Irishman's signature from a very respectable TV show that I really like, and obviously this guy has been in a lot of properties and worked with Christopher Nolan a lot. So yeah, really psyched about these. They've been shipped today, so I'm interested to just get them and pose them up.
Did you get both of them?
I did because I was gonna get just Tommy, and I was like, I just think they'd look so much better together.
They would.
You know. But I'm excited about these now. So I picked up, Cad Bane is on the way. These 2 shipped today. I'm really excited about these 2, and I got those CCFLs. So it's a kind of a beans and toast for the rest of the week scenario for me, but yeah, hopefully it'll all work out. So I think we've gone through everyone's pickups and drop-offs. Anyone want to add any more? No. And one other thing I will say is that there's two figures that I haven't looked at in a while. I'm talking about months, and they're in the collection, and it's like one of them is the upgraded suit Spider-Man. Now it's a great figure, but I'm noticing it has the graying Tom Holland issue. It kind of has a little. It's been known that the brown hair can actually turn grey. It gets oxidized over time.
Wow.
And it's unfortunately a bit off-putting, but at the same time as well, I could offload that. There's certain figures in the collection, like I've got the Spider-Man from Homecoming with all the bits and pieces. That's going nowhere. But I think I'd rather have the new Tom Holland one that's, the final suit one, because it's just spectacular. And I do have a vision to have Andrew, Toby, and the integrated suit doing some sort of meme. So do I need 8 Spider-Mans? These are the questions that we'll be looking at later on. These are the questions. Like I have to make kind of smart decisions.
Well, also, Shane, speaking about space, on Friday I got the quarter scale Dark Knight, and I heard you earlier say that the ankles are a little loose on it.
Well, David L in the chat, he'd messaged me on Instagram saying that he got his from Sideshow. He wasn't happy with it. He thought the base was too big. I actually love the base, but I don't have it in hand. And that the ankles were very loose. So he sent it back, and he worked backwards and got the previous version.
Wow.
So did you notice anything with the ankles, or?
I didn't. I mean, I opened mine up just to inspect it, make sure it all looked good and everything, but I didn't really allow it to stand on its own weight or try to pose it or anything. I just kind of put it right back in the box and put it in the closet like I do most of the things I get now until I have more space.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but I am gonna go check it. That's why I left.
Yeah. If you got maybe after stream or something like that, if you get a chance and you do get a chance to check it, hit me up on Instagram. I am curious because I've got one payment left in that before it arrives. So that's pretty much our pickups and drop-offs and stuff like that. Thanks very much for sharing there. And so we're going to switch on to news because I want to gush about this. This is my number one most anticipated movie. It is not Oppenheimer, although I'm looking forward to that. Lael, talk to us about this one.
Yeah.
There's 2 photos. We got 2 photos.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, bro, because again, we know that both Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds have been they've been kind of baiting and trolling people for years, you know what I mean, with their, their friendship. And also, I think that this is something that's been in the works for a while. And so to finally see it come into fruition is a huge thing. It's a big thing, for a lot of people who have wanted to actually see them two together, for so long. There's a bit of history, especially if you're a comic book head, that there is some history there with the 2 characters. So to see it on screen is going to be magical. I mean, again, we know that right now they shut down production due to the actual strike, writer strike, actor strike, of course. So hopefully that can resume once again people are fed, money is in pockets, and that has completely been resolved. But other than that, I think here's the thing, it was funny because I was thinking about this the other day when Bob Iger was made the comment that right now Marvel, as far as their television content, movie content, is just kind of too much, exhausted, and they want to kind of reel back. The thing is I understand what he's saying, but the problem isn't, I don't think, oversaturation. The problem is writing. The problem is whether or not you can write a story where people are really connected to. If you basically scale back on all this extra money that you're spending on CGI and write a decent story, people will follow. I mean, case in point, Logan. Logan was an incredible film that scaled back on CGI, but it was written well. It was written well. Probably one of the top 5, comic book films of all time because it was incredible. You know what I mean? But it's writing. And I think that with Ryan Reynolds, because he has, a passion for this character, it's been a passion project for so many years. I think that, it's arguably I can say that Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 were great films. They were really good films because of the writing, because of the simple fact that he put his all into the actual character. And, you know, again, he trusts. It's not where basically Ryan Reynolds trusts the studios. He trusts the fans. He puts his faith in fans because he knows he can actually deliver great projects and great product from everybody that we know that we're possibly going to see in this film. Not just, you know, Wolverine himself, but they're talking about, you know, of course, Elektra. They're talking about, you know, Jean Grey's coming back. We're going to see, of course, Colossus and, you know, Negasonic is going to be there as well. There's, you know, of course, you know, Professor X. I heard Magneto as well. They said that possibly we might see Halle Berry. You know, so I think that, and also the TVA is going to be here. Like, I know there weren't that many Loki fans, but I was. You know, definitely the TVA is going to actually play a role in this. And I think that really once we see this film, it's going to be fantastic. I mean, already when you have a cast like that, I'm already looking at almost a damn near $1 billion film. You know what I mean? I think they can pull it off once it's there. But when you look at this film from a collecting standpoint, there's going to be a lot of broke pockets. I'm telling you that right now. There are. Because if, in fact, Jen Gardner and Ben Affleck are in this film, I was talking to Brendan about this last week, Hot Toys is not going to spare any type of expense on releasing those two figures because it's one-offs, not something that we're going to actually see. We already know that we're going to get Logan. Everything else in here is going to get milked. I'm telling you, from a collector standpoint, pockets are going to be broke. From a cinematic point, it's something that is anticipated. I cannot wait to see it. Again, you know, I think this is going to be that one film that they're going to use to kind of retool some things that's going on between. It's going to be the end of the Fox universe that leads into the Marvel Cinematic Universe for Disney. But I think they're going to do it in a unique way, and I can't wait to see it. I mean, they just rumors like yesterday or 2 days ago was that Scarlet Witch might be in this film as well. Now, my only thing is hearing that, I'm like, okay, it does bode well, and it seems like it's going to be a really good film. I just hope it's not an overload, that there's too much of a good thing in one film, that your focus is taken off of your main characters and the story. That's it. But so far,
100%.
You know what I mean? So from what I'm hearing so far, it sounds like it's going to be pretty good. I think, again, Ryan Reynolds, that's a passion project for him. So I know he's going to put his all, and I can't wait to see it, bro.
Like these two here, like that'll be my concern. Like, I mean, just listing out the things I'm looking forward to about this movie. Mm-hmm. I loved the first two Deadpool movies. I thought the first one was just solid. I thought it was a great movie. Yeah. The second one, though, I actually thought it was a superior movie. I thought it was a better sequel. I know that's not a popular opinion. A lot of people actually prefer the first one. That's fine. But they're two bloody good movies. So this has a chance to be a really good trilogy. Yeah. The Ryan Reynolds effect, he just nailed the first two movies. Whether, you know, his acting, his delivery, producing, script, all that kind of stuff. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine were my favorite thing about those Fox movies. I wasn't a massive fan of the Fox movie, but I was a massive fan of Hugh Jackman's portrayal in all of the movies, the Days of Future Past and First Class, and you know, all that kind of stuff. The two of them together on screen or off screen, even if they're on social media, they've got great chemistry. So if you're gonna like put in like, you know, half a dozen or a dozen like kind of fan service token cameos, is that going to take away from the actual gift horse you have of having these two guys here? Don't dilute the chemistry, you know what I mean? Yeah. So hopefully you get enough screen time of them, you know, like, you know, basically giving each other shit and, you know, making, you know, comments back and forth and, you know, getting each other's faces and stuff like that. And the comedy and all kind of stuff and some good action, like, and good stories. So I'm really excited about this. Really, really excited. Just before I move on to, I'm going to ask Ian now to get his take on this. I know this is AI generated or Photoshop or whatever, but Lael, do you like the look of this suit?
Okay, so now this suit, of course, is not going to be in the film. They've already actually, you know, somebody did actually say that it was just AI generated, of course. The suit, the thing is, it's like, it's hard because you don't want too much of something. I think the color wise, it is the suit that I would love to see, but I would think that retooling of the suit, I think, would be a tad bit like, I think this is a bit much when it comes to like the gauntlets, the straps, and everything. If they can kind of just tone it down a bit, then I would.
So it looks a bit more like this one. Well, this is the one though, isn't it? Like
that's the one. That's definitely the one. Again, I wanted to see the completed look. I can't wait to see him with the helmet on, with the mask on.
That's what everyone's wondering.
Yeah, I want to see how that's going to be. So
like
I definitely,
white eyes and stuff would be awesome.
So I can't wait to see how that one's going to be. But the other one, it was just, I don't know, it was just way too much. Too much.
I actually like both of them, because I do like, I think I've said this like multiple times, like sometimes things in a comic, direct lifts don't often translate well to the big screen, because then you end up with like classic Loki and it's like he's wearing pajamas, whereas work on a comic book might necessarily work on the screen. So I actually do like that AI look, but like this one looks so bloody good. Like I'm very interested to see, and like these are done deal, like these are absolutely going to happen every day of the week. Ian, you're up. You psyched about this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I love the comic book version, love that suit, but aesthetically, for a live action movie, I like the AI generated, and I'm sure Leo's going to screw his face up a bit.
No, I mean, I get it.
I mean, but I do like that. I think with the real image that we've seen, it really depends on what mask they put on it.
Yeah.
For me. But what I'm more pumped at is the rumor with Halle Berry. If she's going to be Punk Storm, then that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah. If they do that, oh my God.
Because
bro.
hairstyle right now looks like Punk Storm. So
yeah, definitely. That would be incredible, man.
Mike, Dan, do you have any thoughts on this? Is this something you're looking forward to?
Oh my God, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Like,
you called your kid Logan. I knew that was a stupid question.
I named my kid after this dude, man.
Hey, yo,
you called his kid Logan. It's like,
real quick,
he's excited.
Real quick, Mike reminded me, because when we were talking about it, I could see like in his face he couldn't wait. He reminded me. Did you ever see that, Mike? Did you see that meme of that kid that they show who's he's really he's like intense, like almost like he's about to explode or whatever, bro. Like
that's how I feel. That's how I feel right now. And I have so many things to say, but I'm gonna shrink it all down. First of all, Shane, if I found out that Hugh Jackman was in this movie for 10 seconds, I would have been like, yes. Now that's not because like I'll take whatever I can get, but Logan was it. That was the end. So even if I got like a 5-second cameo, I'd be like, that was cool. So like I'm thrilled for him to have any screen time, and the fact that he's going to be hopefully sharing a lot of screen time with him. And in Ryan I trust, bro. And this brings me to my next comment. It's piggybacking off what Leo was saying. I think too much out there right now, especially the stuff that's failing. It's failing because of design by committee. That is the problem, in my opinion. Deadpool 1 and 2 were great because nothing on that screen was there without Ryan's like approval. And whereas like you look at Obi-Wan and you had Ewan McGregor as a producer on the show, but I think he's showing up in pre-production and they go, Ewan, we've decided as a group to change it, and I think he played ball. I think if you look at Tony Gilroy, Tony Gilroy put on the screen what he wanted on in Andor.
Terminator 2 wouldn't have been good if James Cameron was a nice guy.
There you go. James Cameron, aliens had to piss off every Englishman on that set to get what he wanted, and they didn't get their tea and biscuits on time.
I'm glad he
got the movie we got, and that's awesome.
You need that. Sometimes you need artists need
leadership.
To be a bit unhinged, a bit like a bit of an ego to them and stuff like that. Sometimes just to push that through, like.
Absolutely.
But
we're missing the auteur in cinema and entertainment today. And when we get it, we notice it, even if we don't realize it right away. And that's why we know these people's names. Anyway, I'll shut up now. But that's all I had. Leo's right. I had that. Yeah.
Yeah, you was bubbling, bro. I saw you bubbling.
I love the passion. It was I was chatting to Marco and Joao and Ben Thomas, when I saw that AI version, I'd be like, oh, I'd be pretty happy if it was this. Like, it's given a subtle nod to the comic book, but it looks pretty cool. And it was like the day before this dropped, like, but I was just like on my phone texting him and looking at the image and stuff like that with a smile on my face. And Megan was like, what are you smiling about? And I was like, I'm just so excited about this. Like, I'm just really, really excited about this movie. I just hope they get they're 2 for 2. This has so much going for it. I really, really hope it's good. So yeah, I'm just going to move on. Would you want to like chat about, like, we're going to chat about some figures now. Anyone be opposed to chatting about Cad Bane first, or would anyone prefer to start with something else, or be happy with Cad Bane?
Hey, I'm ready with that.
I think Dan is the only one with it in the hand at the moment. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
I think so. Dan, talk to us.
What
do you think
he's
about it?
He's got loads of shelf presence as soon as you open them up. I mean, he's just like I say, the head sculpts, the 3 head sculpts are really well painted. Could do with a little bit of more weathering, I think, but nothing like Bespin Luke sort of thing. It's fine. It doesn't worry me. But I got the what's it called, deluxe version with Toto the robot, which is great. It's a great little sort of piece to go along with it. But yeah, just it's so different because we don't normally get aliens for Star Wars, apart from what Ian was saying about, like, the bounty hunters, some of those sort of things, or Greedo, which we've never got, or someone like that, or any of the Jabba's palace sort of things. We've never had that.
Gamorrean guards, yeah.
Gamorrean guards and all that. It's really nice to have something that's a bit different on the shelf. It's not a trooper, it's not an Imperial, it's a bounty hunter, a badass Western bounty hunter, and I think it's great. I mean, obviously, I said in my review, I've just put my review up, and it'd be interesting to see how this does. Is this going to sell really well, or is it going to go to just the Clone Wars fans? And not everyone looked like Book of Boba Fett, so it'd be really interesting to see how this sells, or how many people pick it up, because I think it's a great Star Wars piece that goes with so many things. You can put it with the Bad Batch, Fennec Shad, you could put it with clones, you could put it with an Anakin or anything like that. I think it's a great figure. It's quite tall, it's quite imposing. Yeah, no, it's great. And I mean, I think everyone on here is getting it, aren't they?
I'm getting it.
Yes, sir.
It says something, so
Yeah,
it's brilliant. Really good. Really good.
Dan, I told you I was getting this when we were standing there at the I told you that when we were standing there watching the live stage.
I tell you what, when we were having that chat, I didn't know 4 figures were going to drop in a week. That's one. So
bro.
Actually, before we say that, did anyone get the clone trooper on the bike? The thing as well. Did
No, I
get that?
passed on it.
I did. Yeah.
Did you get that as well?
I
Really
got both of the bark
expensive, isn't it?
speeders.
Wow.
I know, bro. I was just, it was my first week of collecting, and I was like, what do I want? Everything? Yeah. And I was just like, I just kind of went a little crazy, man.
And who do I want to buy it from?
Yeah. Hey, bro, we've talked about this. I was I was naive, and I didn't hear the negative. I hadn't heard the negative yet. So
man,
you know what? If you don't put it this way, bro, if you don't experience the negative, everybody's going to have a totally different experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how it is. Like you won't hear the negative until you experience the negative. Even when people are talking about it, you won't hear the negative until you experience the negative. Yeah. That's just how it works, bro.
Yeah. Well, listen, we'll see, man. I'll keep you guys posted on how that journey goes. So I sent the email off last night. So.
Yeah, you'll get it eventually. You'll just have to sit in them for a while.
But going what you're saying, Shane, on the chat, a lot of people are saying so far is that this could be figure of the year, and I actually do agree. But also, Fennec Shad last week is one of those that could be figure of the year. It's crazy what's come out. It's really weird when you get figures so close together. And I normally like, when you just open them and let's do that, that's up, right? Oh God, this way another one comes. You sort of lose that sort of specialness. Do you know what I mean, guys? If you have them so close to each other and you open them up and everything like that.
I know exactly.
So that's one thing I do wish I'd done is like done one week the other, but you know, that's a collector. I want to get open and do photos and everything like that. But
Yeah, but you know, like, you know, the wife or girlfriend smacking you around the side of the head kind of takes the specialness out of a lot of things, doesn't it? Like, you know, you got what 3 or 4 in 1 week? Yeah. This so this here, who you got this in hand, Dan? You've got this in hand, Lael.
Yeah.
Is this en route to you, Ian?
Yep. It's on route. Well,
Mike, any
En route.
interest?
Yeah, I'll be ordering her. I just haven't yet, but I will be.
Yeah. This looks bloody stunning. She's
It's
60.
beautiful, bro.
She's
Yeah.
honestly,
60.
the helicopter is in hand is unreal. It's
And you know what's weird? What not even weird. What's great about this is the simple fact that she is a Star Wars nut, like a Star Wars fan. So knowing that, and then knowing that they've gotten this so great, is just basically it is honoring the simple fact. It like everything with her. She just like a couple weeks ago, she just got her star, like finally her Hollywood Walk of Fame. You know what I mean? Star, and now this, and yeah, man, it's like everything with her. You know, it's so good to see. It is. It's so good to see. It's great.
and
to
is
see.
this a one-off? Do you think they'll do another one, or is this it?
It depends. It depends on what they do cinematically. You know,
Yeah.
what we see, if there's any changes with the suit, if there's anything different. But other than that, I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's why it's like, yo, myself, you can't just get one. That's just the way I felt about Jen. I couldn't just get one because I needed to come 2 looks. You needed to have both those looks, one with the helmet on, one with the helmet off. You know what I mean? And I needed to actually have that look. So yeah, it's definitely an incredible piece, man. Like it is in talks of being maybe one of the figures of the year, man. So it's gonna be an interesting talk this year at the end of the year.
Yeah, and you know what? You hit the nail on the head. End
Woo!
of the year.
So that's
Because-
an angle.
Because
Sorry. Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
you're all right. What are you showing there?
I was saying that's an angle that Hot Toys can use to release her again with slight differences.
Okay, like the
as the
comic,
Bad Batch.
the
Bad
Bad
Batch.
Batch version.
Oh right,
Yeah.
yeah, I get you.
And that's
I
the
didn't-
beauty of it,
Yeah.
because you can pose her with the Bad Batch. You could pose her against Cad Bane. You can pose her in so many different unique ways. It's incredible, man. It is.
The this commentary, I've been hearing this a lot. Like Cad Bane could be contender for figure of the year. I just kind of want to like really briefly, like don't want to like rain on the parade, but it is only July. And if this was like November, I'd be like, oh, okay, it's probably time to start having a conversation. 11 months out of the 12 have surpassed, and you know, it's maybe we can start looking back on what are the odds of something dropping in the next few weeks. But someone could just drop on New Year's Eve. You know what I mean? Like we still have a lot that due to come out. We still have like say that Doc Ock. Like if they fix that head sculpt on the Doc Ock, think of that character with the long
I think
coat.
Shane, I think the whole reason a lot of people are saying it is because it's so different. It's an alien. It's not a human.
Yeah,
It's not a.
I get that. I get that.
That's, do you know what I mean? That's what it's something. You know, it's
I
not.
know. I get that. It's
character.
unique. It's a novelty
Yeah.
almost. Like, but like a good figure is still a good figure. I mean, we still have like, you know, I'd imagine InArt would probably release their Gandalf and their Pennywise this year. Their Batman, hopefully, fingers crossed. The Hot Toys Batman is still to come out. Like, you know, you still have, you know, that Doc Ock to come out. Green. There's a lot of stuff. Maybe the Vader comes out. There's so much
That will
out
be
there.
But
out
hey,
for the
Shane,
year, the
It's
Vader.
very early.
But hey, Shane, still, like, even with that said, even though Finnick is out, even though, you know, Cosca Reeves is out, you know, even though Cad Bane is out, my figure of the year still right now, that stands right now, is still Cap for me.
The Falcon Cap.
And that was at
That
the beginning
Falcon
of the year,
Cap.
man.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that. I can
That
see that.
Falcon Cap is amazing, bro.
I forgot that was this year.
It is It is such an amazing piece to have in your collection, bro. And that's why I'm like, it's going to be a hard thing. But here, you know what? The fact that we're having, Morbius is due. That's due soon. But and people are sleeping on that figure. Trust me, people are sleeping on that figure. But listen, the fact that we're having this conversation right now is a testament to how Hot Toys is just knocking a lot of shit out the park, bro. They are really knocking figures out of the park You're
3 for
investing
3.
time in it. Like literally, they are knocking things out of the park, and it's an exciting time, bro. It is. It definitely is.
Also,
I mean, it'd be interesting to see with like the Fennec Shad head sculpt, looking back 10 years, how much it's changed in 10 years from those early Black Widow ones from like Iron Man 2, you know, going back from that to what they've got now on the female sculpts because Sasha Banks, I call her, but of course Cosca Reed, 2 amazing female head sculpts, you know, because I don't think they've ever got, say, I'm after a Harley Quinn. They've never got Margot Robbie 100% right, have they really?
Oh,
but,
the tongue out one, I actually really...
Yeah, I know,
that
but compared to
They've nailed
this, that's what I'm saying, compared to these. And
But won't it be funny
strong.
to like look back and be like, man, I can't believe we thought those were good head sculpts. You know, like in 10 years, like that's hard to imagine.
If he had said like, oh yeah, do you know the original Christian Bales? Like they're not. They're not.
No,
good
I'm only
compared
going on the
to
female head
DX19.
sculpts because I'm just looking and just because I haven't got a, you know, actually now I've actually got quite a few.
The Black Widows are a good example. The older ones, I suppose, like
very
these
dolly, aren't they? Very
these are more
Barbie-ish.
realistic sculpts,
Yeah.
like,
That's
and these
what I was
only have
talking
the
about.
rolling eyes. So, Ian, are you picking up Costco? Do you have any interest, or is this one that's part of your 9?
Absolutely.
You better,
Sasha Banks.
you better pick her up.
Have you
Listen.
completed the trio there? Did you got Bo-Katan, I presume?
Shane, I would love to complete that trio. Joking.
That took me a second too.
No,
This head sculpt.
honestly, I was waiting until I saw the final release, and it's beautiful. She's beautiful. That was, yeah. She's the one that's actually led me down this path to collecting those 3.
Yeah. You have
Yeah.
you're getting the 3 the night owls. Is that what it's called?
Yes. So I actually want to do this. In fact, I'll say it just now because I was going to send it to Leo. I want to put Deadpool's head.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Because I was just laughing at that. Like, what is he? Just a peg right there? You know, like whatever.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
So
I really want to just move on to. I think you are the resident Clone Wars completionist, Mike. So, are you getting both of these bark speeders? The one with the sidecar and the one without? Did I hear you talk about that madness?
Yeah, I ordered both.
Oh my god! Yeah, but you got like module case on the way, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
You better do.
I do. Yeah, thank God. Well, I think I pretty much ordered them like the same day. I was like, well, I'm screwed now. These I got to get module
man.
cases.
They look
How I
amazing.
justify buying them. Yeah. Yeah, they look pretty
Yeah,
cool, right?
so
Yeah.
you've gone for. Do you know what I thought was I was doing this like a little bit of a video earlier on about just catching up on news I'd missed and stuff like that. It was old news at this stage, but I really like this guy's satchel, but I was like, if I was on a speeder bike in a war, there'd be no way I'd be wearing a satchel. Get caught around the tree and that'd be the end of you. Rip your arm off, like. But I just think it looks really, really cool. Not very practical, but very, very cool. So you're getting this Commander Apple, the heavy weapons, clone trooper, and both bar speakers, basically.
Yeah. Yep. And it's a European carry-all, not a satchel.
Oh, I stand corrected.
No, it's an old Seinfeld joke. Old Seinfeld joke.
Oh right, yeah. I wouldn't have got the reference. I never really got into Seinfeld, but is anyone else picking up the bark speeder or?
no.
Nah, the thing is, it's as amazing as these pieces are. Again, we're talking about space, you know, and it's just one of those things where, again, I have to really, really be careful with everything else that's dropping. Something has to take the back seat. You know what I mean? Something had to kind of just stay in the background for me.
Something had to be put in the sidecar.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Good one. Here's the thing, bro. Like, is there? Even though I'm not getting them, it's not. Again, it's nothing against the artistry and how amazing this is. I was talking about this yesterday, Shane. We were talking about it. Like, if they released this sidecar with Keller and Beck, I'd be done. Like literally, I would be done because I want Hot Toys. I pray that Hot Toys releases a Keller and Beck because I would love to have that in my collection from season 3 of Mando. That would be incredible. But with that being said, you know, this is still amazing. The thing is, it's like for me in clones, it's like, okay, I want them to mix things up a bit because it's like I don't want to run into the situation where we're still, I mean, because man, Commander Cody didn't get any love when it came to his battalion at all.
Yeah.
All we got was just Cody. You know what I mean? And nothing
He's great,
else.
but,
Yeah, which is a great piece. But I'm like, yo, give us some more. Like, whatever. You teased us with some, but you never did. But yeah, I definitely had to pass on it.
We got the Coruscant Guards too, but
yeah, I got those too.
Yeah,
I got the Coruscant Guards, you know. So I kept with that, but it's just too much for me. You know what I mean?
Cool, good stuff. So yeah, we've gone through like things we've got in this week or pre-ordered, things that people have kind of got rid of or considering selling or have sold. Just touched on the news briefly. I was chatting to, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that Mars Toys earlier on the year delivered a seemingly flawless Cesar Romero Joker 66. I mean, I would go as far as saying it's one of the best third-party figure, unlicensed figures, whatever you want to call them, that I've seen. I was really, really impressed by the likeness and the expression of the face and the tailoring and the accessories and all of the stuff. And people were really, really happy. And Mars Toys seemed to be doing things, filling a hole in the market quite well for, you know, that basically making things that Hot Toys or other licensed companies aren't. By all means, the first batch has been a success. Then they said they were going to do a second batch. And it seems to be that there are QC issues with the second batch. And I don't think it's unfair for the people that saw the first batch and saw the quality they released for the first batch to set that as the benchmark when ordering the second batch and expect the same. I think that's a very fair thing. You know what I mean? That's what you based your decision on. But unfortunately, there has been some QC issues with it. I know that Brandon Salad has had issues with his very, very floppy, loose joints. And Ian, of course, here on the panel, you got two of these, Ian. Like, you got a first batch and a second batch. Would that be correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So these photos that I sent you, so I think I was probably, from what I've seen, was the first to raise the issues because I've got both versions. But I kept it quiet because I don't want the drama that goes with all of this stuff. So, but I felt after speaking to some people, I had to make it more known. So the first batch, the figure I got, that was day one pre-order. I just love this line. And that figure for me that I've got is figure of the year by far for me so far, when you consider everything that you get with it, the value for money, 3 head sculpts that are all on point. It's just exceptional. The tailoring, everything just does not look third party, unlicensed whatsoever. So obviously showing the issues that I had and what then transpired that a lot of other people were starting to see. I noticed the shirt was different. The collar is huge. The tie is completely different. Different material. It's not tied right. It's so long. But the worst of all was the waistcoat. They don't have the fasteners, and it's some cheap. There's a little bit of metal, but it's on a sticky tape. It's just it looks terrible. So the only reason I bought 2 is because the company that I bought the first one, when it was through on a pre-order ready to release, there was a fallout from this company and Mars Toys. So I thought there was risk to my order. So I went and ordered the second batch from Kit just to make sure I was getting the figure. And I was just going to keep that boxed up just in case something else happened to that figure. Again, I love this line. So, however, this figure's going back. Even though Mars Toys, you have to give them credit. They've taken all the feedback and said that they'll release a new shirt, new waistcoat. I think that was it. Oh, and there was an issue with one of the hands, so for $10 shipped. However, it doesn't address the tie. My body on the batch 2 was also loose, so for me, it's just going back. It's not worth it. I need to make
Ian,
my point.
what's the paint job like compared to head sculpt paint?
Everything else is exactly the same. So
Right,
apart
okay.
from the fault with one hand, the tie, the shirt, and the waistcoat, the head sculpts exactly the same. The accessories exactly the same. But as ordering the first batch, I'm expecting that to be the same. I then found out that Mars Toys used a different factory to produce this. So I'm hoping that there's lessons learned there. But yeah, okay, it's unlicensed, but as you said, Shane, people are expecting the second batch to be the same as the first batch. That's why they're buying it. So, but again, credit to Mars Toys. They've listened and they're rectifying to an extent.
Yeah.
Just shiny. I actually think
That's
he's serious.
the best
I
one.
actually think
The last
actually
one is his best one.
I actually think he's serious here. The second batch should be better than the first batch. I think that's a
true,
fair
though.
statement.
He's
It's
serious,
hard to
but he still has to add an LOL.
the thing is, Shiny could tell me the lotto numbers and I wouldn't believe him. You know what I mean? But like he's right there. Typically, your first attempt at something, if it's good, your second attempt, learn from your mistakes should be better, unless it's just you're not trying to improve.
But he also says they made a third-party version of a third-party figure, which is good.
It's a ninth party. It's third
It's a
square.
ninth party. That's quite funny. I just want to address one or two more comments here. So, all these clones look amazing, but price and space play a heavy part on figures of this size. Unfortunately, a pass for me. And again, we're going to get into that space topic. Dirk Diggler's stunt double. Every time I see this, it reminds me I need to watch Boogie Nights again. I haven't seen it in probably 20 years.
It's a great
Can anyone
game.
tell me, is Saturn Toys Mars Toys? Yes, I believe they are the same. And Brandon Salad, channel member, shout out to you. Definitely disappointing unboxing for me. I saw, I think we were messaging on Instagram. I saw it has very, very loose joints. And look, this is it's I don't think, like, we're not being negative. We're just basically giving, Ian has it in hand, so does Brandon Salad, giving constructive feedback, because if you don't ask, you don't get, and if you don't kind of make it known, then the company has no incentive to improve. I do like the way they've actually addressed it, and they have provided an option, but you still have to spend an extra $10 if you want it, and you shouldn't have to. Like, on principle, I know $10 is only $10, but it's a principle. And then also, you said that they're not addressing all of the issues. Would that be correct, Ian?
Yeah, so certainly the tie they're not addressing. Everything else that's been a QC issue or an oversight, they're addressing. But the tie is a big look. You could go and get that custom made. You could get that rectified, no problem. So it's good that they're given an option. But for me, it's going back. So.
Hey, Ian, for people looking to buy these on the secondary market, is there any telltale sign on the box or anything?
That's a good question. I was on Mafia's Discord and we were doing a video on this, and he asked if there's any identification on the box or the figure. I inspected everything and there's nothing to tell you that it's first or second batch at all.
It's going to make the first batch go up though now, isn't it, in price?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Which is
So it
sad,
doesn't-
really.
Yeah,
'Cause it's-
yeah.
And that's the sad thing is, as a collector, I want every other collector to experience that unboxing that I had. It was an amazing experience. It was just to see that, it was brilliant, and to then see these other collectors who are getting it for the first time to be so disappointed, especially because it's got so much hype.
Yeah.
And they're a company that have done good work, and that they're making a lot of, like, you know, 89 and 92 and stuff that, like, other, like I said already, Hot Toys or other officially licensed companies don't seem to be doing or won't do. And, like, you know, there's talks of them doing a what's it, like a Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, and the Catwoman from 1966, and so people who are interested in that should be kind of concerned about this as well.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully that they I hopefully just a misstep, and they reflect and they take the data in and go, right, this can't happen again, and they take it to improve. So anyone else have anything to add on this?
I just think, look at the shirt collar is mad, completely different, isn't it? It's like a completely.
The first one's well tailored, and the second one
Yeah,
not so much.
I just don't. Did you? Well, is it just because of different factory, or were they trying to save money? And you know, I don't know. It's crazy, really.
There was, I spoke to Joe as well, Big Raider, and he thought that there may have been offcuts of material as well. So
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's disappointing, but hopefully it gets sorted. So at this point in time, I just want to outline some new videos that are up live on the channel now. So before I left, I scheduled a few videos to go out then. So these are just these are not exhaustive, definitive lists. This is just my own thoughts and opinions. The looking back on the year at we're past halfway now of the year. Just the announcements, the figures that went up for pre-order that I really got excited about. So just like, these are fun videos for me to watch. Like, if other YouTubers are making these videos and they do, I like sitting down and watching people's top fives and stuff like that. I just get a kick out of them. I just find them really interesting how people prioritize things. But so this one's up there, exciting best announcements of 2023. Again, it's just my own thoughts and opinions. Best releases of 2023. There's some, I think there's only 4 or 5 figures there, and most of them I have actually in the collection or pre-ordered. There is one figure on this list that I won't be getting, but I just thought it was such a strong release, and that is what Lael mentioned earlier on, the Captain America, the Sam Wilson Captain America. I just think the thing is absolutely stunning. Like, but I just don't collect the Disney Plus stuff, but I do think it's just a really strong release. It just looks amazing in multiple different ways. These are just I just went through Sideshow and just outlined all the figures that are due to be released in 2023. This is actually doing quite well. Like, it kind of got a lot of reviews very quickly. But and this one here is just basically thoughts on the stuff I missed while I was away on holiday. So I think we're ready to go on the space issue. So what I did was I got people just to I put down my own thoughts and things that I do to deal with space, because I'm definitely getting to the stage where it's like, you know, if I want to have one figure per shelf, I have to either sell loads of figures, which I'm not willing to do. I might sell 1 or 2 that I'm not feeling anymore, if I have doubles or for whatever reason, or if there's a better version of that coming out, or yada. But it's typically like, you know, I don't want to, you know, if I get a figure, I want to keep it long term. So my other option would be to rotate figures. So I'm getting to that stage. And I know a lot of other collectors, whether some people have Moducase and they're getting to that stage, or some people have, like Lael, he's got like the Hall of Detolfs, and I presume space is still a concern. Like, if for a collector, space and money is probably their biggest limiting thing. So I took the suggestions that people sent me, and I just put them together into presentation. I'm just going to go through them and maybe just have a look and give our thoughts on them. So the topic is the space issue. Are you running out of space? What do we do, or what are your options? These are some of the things that we do. So the first thing is, you can just accept a more cluttered display. You can try to fit 16 figures into each cube with the Detolf. That's not an option for me. Does anyone like? Does anyone mind that? Does anyone like they don't care how the figures are displayed? They'll just like cram them all in and just be happy that, yeah, that's the figure, I own it, it's mine, it's standing up there. Is anyone on the panel that type of collector? And no judgment, like, or people in the chat as well, let us know, because I know that some people just like to have it straight up and down museum pose and pop it in there. Like, I mean,
I think for me, I think let me see if I'll just look here. There's only 2 cases where I have, or 2 spaces. Like, I have the garage case that, I built, and I have, my Mandalorian display. I have my Marvel display, and of course I have the tumbler with Batman and the Joker. But here, like, for instance, you can't really see it, but I have my I have Anakin, Ahsoka, Rex, and 2 of the clone troopers in one display, but it's action poses, like it's more dynamic and it makes sense for the display.
You've scenes.
Yeah, I have scenes. Yeah. So I create scenes. I don't just have them standing in one place. I create scenes just to kind of give it more dynamic, and it's the fluidity, it's flowing. You can see that there's an action that's taking place at that moment. I won't really clutter it too much. The thing is, when you have, and again, nothing against anybody, because how you display is how you display. For me, I prefer not to actually have 4 or 5 figures just in museum poses displayed in a case, because sometimes you have to look over figures to see the other one, and it's just there. It's just not. It would do me a disservice to do it that way, so I just stay away from it. And just, again, if I'm creating action scenes, then I'll just do that. So that's mainly how I just, I'll have everything. I don't believe in having everything just crammed in, because it just, to me, like, it's all about soldiers. Yeah, it's all about presentation. It's just like if you go to like a department store, if like you go to a sneaker store, if you go to a clothing store, if they have everything just crammed in one space, you'll move on to the next, because the display or the presentation just doesn't look good. It doesn't give you a vibe that you're really interested in. So that's the same how I feel about my displays. Like, everything has to be seen, and that's what we have them for, is that everything has to have presence. It actually, and a narrative. And that's why I was even talking about yesterday, like having 2 different IPs displayed in one case. Me, because I have OCD, it just doesn't work. I have to have everything separated. I have to have my Marvel with Marvel, my Star Wars with Star Wars, my DC with DC. And if I have miscellaneous figures, like I said yesterday, the only 2 figures that I have displayed together is Hellboy and Alita Battle Angel. But it still makes sense. You know what I mean? Because of the aesthetic. Both of them have their own cinematic movies separately, so it just makes sense. But other than that, yeah, it's tricky. And space is always an issue. It is a huge issue. So you already know.
So it's probably safe to say that there's no one on the panel who just gets the figure and just stands it straight up and down and packs them into whatever case. I don't think anyone really does that. And if you do, you do. But I don't think anyone really does. So this is more of just a joke, really. Just accept it. You've got a clutter display.
Yeah.
So this is probably one of the popular kind of responses I got. Obviously, we've got we're outnumbered, Lael. The Magicase boys are here. We got we got Ian with his beautiful Magicase display there. Dan and Mike.
Still
Mike has got them. They're en route, So this one, before even, both Ian and Dan messaged me and said they had other displays and they upgraded to the Magicase because of space and stuff like that. But I had this slide in before they even messaged me, because I figured, like, this is a lot of people have detolfs, and then it's not floating their boat anymore, it's not doing what they want to do, they want to maximize the floor space, so they go and they get the Magicases. So Ian, like, what's your story? Like, how did you end up with Magicases, and how does that actually, is it more space efficient? Is like what happened?
Yeah, for me it's more space efficient. So 1, it was space. 2, the D12s were going in short supply, and they're actually discontinued in the UK. And I didn't like the magnetic closing mechanism. For me personally, it shakes too much and it's not airtight. So, and with it being all glass, it was just a pain in the ass for me. So it took me a while. I looked at many other solutions. Moducase, it probably took me about a year to really decide, and actually waited until they do, I think when we spoke on Visions, they do a holiday discount, 15%. So that's when I jumped in and put in a big order. So it was driven by space, but I really, really didn't like the magnetic closing system of the D12s, and plus they were going end of life anyway. So for me, I was because in the current room I'm in just now, it's my office, and it's a funny shaped wall that I've got. So I was able to custom, well, not straight off the shelf, their systems to fit the shape of the wall. And you would lose a lot more footprint space with a D12 because I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Gotcha, because yours was kind of triangular shape, didn't it?
Yeah, it was almost like Roman grid.
Yeah.
Like how it is, but yeah, ultimately it almost goes in a triangular shape, the way it's configured.
Good stuff. And then, Dan, what was your story? Like, why did you go module cases? And did you find it's helped with your space issue? Can't hear you, man. I think you're on mute. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, hear you now, man.
So I had four D12s behind me here, which is actually the same size as a 165, near on a module case 165, one cabinet of the same. And I had a couple of times where the D12 shattered in the middle of the night.
No, that's my nightmare.
And I was out one night and it scared the crap out of my kids and my wife. And it was one of those things that I know you know it's all about tightening them and not tightening them, you know, but I don't know about you guys. Do you still hear the creaks now and again, the little pops and all that? Because it used to do that quite a lot, and I was always a little bit like, oh man. And the thing is, I like the cleanness of the module case. I just like the lighting and everything like that. So I decided to sell the D12s last year, put all my figures in boxes on the, in storage, but it's in the loft or down here for about 9-10 months, and just waited for I bought 3 165 module cases, and I'm looking to add again, either to go up and do one more at the top, which is going to be quite high because they're actually on a IKEA Besta, so I've got like shelves at the bottom, if you know what I mean, like your cabinets. So, but I'll either go up, or as you can see behind me over there, I might go across and do some more. But like I said in the thing, I'm in no rush because I've got room at the moment. Hence why I sold my troopers. I've actually got room to breathe, because I don't like, I look, Ian's is perfect. That's what I like. It's just nice, not too rammed. And because I don't use like the Hot Toys stands, I use like I got all like custom, the old school ones, the black sort of stands. I use them, so it's just
the ones that I don't like. Yeah,
the ones you don't like. Yeah, but I like those because it's uniform, because I love it all being uniform, and also it reduces space so much. Yeah, so you can get
that's why we have a panel as opposed to just one person talking, because then there's just a bit more like seeing how people deal with the similar issues and deal with them different ways.
And the good thing is, Shane, is what you're going to say is, and Leo was saying, is that's the great thing about this hobby. Everyone likes different figures. Everyone displays differently, but we all love the the buzz of it and everything. And I love that. That's one of the great things about YouTube and the the collecting community is I love looking at like collection videos and just looking at what everyone does, and like when I don't know, like Dean Knight does a new collection video. I like that because he changes his so much, and when what I'm saying. I love that. I think there's so many good posers out there, and when Justin does a video, I mean, obviously he does cram them in, but that's him. He likes it like that, and I know he's getting rid of a few, but I just like looking at everyone's different. That's the whole.
Yeah, like it still looks neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the way he does it, like, and he does pose them as well. Like that must take like a lot of time, because like when he has say like the end game display, it kind of looks like a movie poster, So it's yeah. So yeah, thanks for that, Dan. And Mike, so what you got Mod Cases on the way, but you have details. So what made you like? Was it a space thing? Were you trying to future proof yourself, or what was the deal?
It's future proofing. It's so that I can fit larger items. I mean, I was already feeling restricted as a Lego builder. I was running out of space to put them. I liked putting the smaller ones in the cases, but I had some with height. And I had some Lego vehicles that I couldn't get in there. And so when I discovered Case, I said, hey, this is another opportunity. But like I told you, I'm not getting rid of these. In my real display of these, like I said, this is just my makeshift display, just so I can look at some of my stuff. Yeah. But when I had my office properly set up, like I had my CGC comic books, like behind my Mezco figures, like the ones that related to that book would be together. And so I do like that uniformity and like keeping everything in its own unit. I still love that about Detolf. So I'm always going to keep them, but it was also priced too. I think in the States, Detolf for like $150 now or something. So, if you buy 5 Detolfs, and you get the 15 versus the 15% discount on Case, it's not as much of a savings as it was when I was first buying these, and they were $49.99. So I don't know. It was just the opportunity to display bigger items. And now I'm looking at what I ordered, and I'm thinking, well, is that going to be big enough? Because there's only certain vehicles that can even fit in those. Like you can fit the 89.
What did you get? The 1/6, or did you?
I got the 6th.
Yeah.
But I got the ones that are the same depth and height as yours, but they're longer.
Yeah, I've got the longest, the 165s. Is that what you've got, or have you got longer than that?
So mine are called 220s.
Oh wow! So,
yeah.
Oh my god.
So they're longer.
Yeah, man.
But everything else is the same. And then on the side, they have basically you get vertical height. So there's ones with 2 shelves. And I can adjust those how I want. So
what with the 220s, is that one long Perspex thing?
Yes, there's
have good fun cleaning that, man.
Dude,
that. It's quite hard to clean when you've got like one really long one.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
I know, man. We'll see what happens. But
no, that looked amazing. That looked great. I didn't know they did them that long.
Yeah, they. I think it's called 62204.
Wow.
So if you're looking that up. So yeah, Shane, that's what I did, just to give myself some more flexibility, some more options. I have a lot of statues as well, so I can fit quarter scale statues in there. The funny thing is, Dan, you mentioned I used to I got these helmets up here now. They're pretty light. When I first got these, I had quarter scale sideshow statues on there. And now I look back, I'm like, dude, that was crazy, because I have seen some horror stories about these things collapsing.
Yeah, it just obviously my wife rung me and said she thought someone was breaking in. It was really loud, and I mean the mess it made, because obviously it's shatter, so it just completely.
What about the figures in there?
They're all right, because it was the back. It was the back one. They're actually all right, but I just didn't want, and having at that stage my kids were quite young, so I had to always shut the office and all that, just in case, because they were on risers as well. So, but it's just everything's a lot more safer. But they're teenagers now, so they don't come in. So.
Yeah, that's no. Thanks for that, Lael. So, we're outnumbered, right? I still love the Detolf look. I love the Detolf look, but I know that this collection, this little room here, is it. You know, it's not going to be bigger than this. So I can't rule out in the future. I don't know how I'm going to feel in the future, but I cannot rule out the possibility of maybe getting Moducase or something like that at some stage. But right now, I'm very, very happy with what I have. So you've got like a wall of detofs. So where do you stand on the Moducase? I know you have some Moducase. Do you know you built like a Costa case?
Yeah, I built my own because the thing is, it was cheaper for me, and I'm impatient. Like literally, I don't want to have to wait for a case to arrive. I don't want to, because I had module cases before and I sold them off, and that was because it didn't do what I wanted it to do. With me basically building, you know, my own case and, you know, getting the garage shelf and, you know, building it, tooling it, I was so impressed at and looking at it like, damn, why didn't I do this before? Why didn't I think about this before? Because it's presented so much space and presence when it comes to the display and what I want. So it's the best of both worlds. I love my DTOFs. I'll never give them up. But I also love the just building and having this case here. I got another one that I'm building as well, just to kind of just create more space for Toya by condensing, because I think it's going to be more effective that way as well. But I still love, I just love the simple fact of what the ingenuity of doing it myself, what it does. But my DTOFs, man, like the lighting, I worked hard for my DTOFs. Like definitely, I think about it like just from the very beginning of collecting. The DTOFs hold a special place. Will I buy anymore? Probably not, because again, I don't believe in spending $150 on something that used to be only $60. You know what I mean? Like to have them, and I think just because of
that's
demand,
not just inflation. That's opportunist, and that is greed.
That is definitely.
They realized what they had.
Yeah. And they know
that's
a lot of
capitalism.
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, I would never go back. I would never, buy them again. There's no use in actually doing it. So I'll just savor the ones that I actually have and just, deal with that. But for what it's worth, they still give me the magic, because the thing is, it's more contained and it's more intimate. You know what I mean? When you have figures, you have certain things that, that stand out. You know what I mean? It definitely stands out. Like the display, everything stands out. Even like, probably like my favorite display that I have yet today is the Emperor Palpatine with the Emperor Guards. Because of how it is, it looks so good and just neat, and I just love the way it is. So like my DTOFs give me that level of intimacy that I want, but if I want the impact, then I also have, those cases. But even with those, what I've done is I've created environment. It's allowed me to really create environment. I went to Michael's, I got sand, I got, moss to kind of create the grass. I got snow to create like a snowy environment. It allows me to create more of an environment instead of just having them stand there. I wanted to create an environment where it looks like they can exist and it looks really incredible. And because I have the sand, none of them have a stand. I have them all positioned and none of them have a single stand that I'm utilizing. And that's the beauty of it. And that's what I love about it. So good stuff.
Hey, Lyle and Shane. Oh, sorry. I just want to ask you guys a quick question about lighting. Shane, I know that you have Luke lights, right?
Yep.
And Lyle, you as well?
I got so I have LEDs that I purchased off of Amazon, and I've been rocking with the same LEDs. So I can actually warm. I can turn them down. I can turn them up. Adjust it. I've been rocking with these just from just like LED strips.
So this question might apply to you too. Like, I got 4 sets of Luke lights because I have 4 DTOFs. They recommend that you order what you need all at the same time. Shane, did you order yours separately? And if you did you notice a slight difference in the color of them? Because that's what is the risk.
I had read that, and I ordered them all together so that the tone would be the exact same.
Okay.
I haven't heard anyone who ordered them separately, but they say that if you order them separate, there's a chance that you might be able to see a slight color saturation difference, like the Kelvin level or whatever. But I've never spoke to someone who did order them separately, looking for the white lights, and they were a bit different. So
I ordered a few times because again, like it just depended on how many I got, because I got my my cases gradually, my DTOFs. But again, I haven't really noticed the difference because I've been buying the same ones, and they haven't presented any problems as far as lighting or anything like that. So yeah, it's been pretty good, man. Like it's and the thing is, like, honestly, lighting your displays depends heavily on your background.
Yes.
Honestly, it does. If I have a solid white wall, the lighting is not going to translate well for me. But if I have a if it's all black in the back, the lighting just comes to life, So everything for me, that's why I decided, even in my displays, to go all black. And if I need to kind of modify certain things down the road, then I'll do so. But yeah, I've just stuck with doing it the way I've been doing it, and just kind of just bringing it to life that way, man. So yeah, I haven't had a problem.
We got a super chat from Phil, Empire Strikes Back channel member. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate £2 super chat. Very much appreciate. I love this question. What figure are you bouncing to fit in Cad Bane? So great question, because I was doing a Hot Toys Tetris earlier on in preparation for figures. I actually had to make 3 spaces because all the shelves were full. Some with majority with just 1 figure per shelf, and then some had like 2. And there was a few things that were going on. I'm getting Cad Bane in. The Arthur and Thomas Shelby, more than likely, if they go into the details and not in the floating shelves, they will be paired in the same cube together. It just makes sense, 2 of them together. And Besbin Luke didn't really have a home yet. So what I did was I moved the Spider-Man Homecoming and the Mark 47 because they were in shelves of their own, and I put them into the 1 cube. It makes sense because they're from the same movie. So that freed up 1 space. And then I noticed the graying issue on the Tom Holland hair of the upgraded suit. And I do have a few Spider-Men coming in. And I was thinking about this for a few months, going, something has to give. I don't need 8 Spider-Man. Okay, what's the most important thing you need? The deluxe Homecoming is going nowhere. Like if I have to just set all the Spider-Man, keep 1, he's going nowhere. But whereas the upgraded suit, now that he's graying, which makes it difficult to sell, may have to be sold, and possibly Mysterio. So I took them out. I'm going to box them up. I'm going to put them upstairs, and I'm going to let it sit and see how I feel about that. So that freed up 3 spaces then, so 1 for Besman Luke, 1 for Cad Bane, and 1 for the Arthur and Tommy Shelby. But I have heard brother cousins say, and he's not wrong, that if you box something up often, it could be the kiss of death. It could be like, if you're boxing something up, that means maybe you've fallen out of love with it. And that's I'm going to test that theory now, because I've only 2 figures undisplayed. One is the Mark 4 War Machine, because I have the Mark 1 War Machine up there, and I just love the way it's looking next to the Mark 6, and I have the fusion reactor going. I just love it. And the other one is the OG Mando, but I'm not going to sell the OG Mando. But we'll see how that works out anyway. So that answers the question, Phil. I pushed the Homecoming Spidey and Mark 47 together. That freed up 1 cube, and then I removed Mysterio and the upgraded suit Spider-Man. I had noticed that graying on the Tom Holland hair. It's a common issue. I thought I dodged it, but obviously I did not. The Moducase thing, though, one thing that Graham from the Jedi Knights Watch, and what I like about Graham from the Jedi Knights Watch, I've said it multiple times before, he had 5 DTOFs as well on risers, very similar to what I have behind me, and he went and he got Moducase, and he said he still misses, he still appreciates the Moducase look, but what he said that he felt he still appreciates the DTOF look, but he said that the Moducase, for the same amount of floor space that the 5 DTOFs took up, if his Moducase is taking up the exact same footprint, he can fit a lot more in and without it making it look cluttered. And that's something that maybe in the future I do look into. I can't rule it out, but at the moment I'm very content. So look, we're going to move on to the next one. Thanks very much, Phil, for the super chat. Is greatly appreciated. So the next thing that we had, so I get up this next one here. So the Moducase is an option. Well, it doesn't have to be Moducases. It could be Costa cases. It could be Billy Book cases. It could be the muscle racks, or making your own, like what Leal did or Costa does, or posing with Peter. So another one, what you could do, and I think this is a very dangerous game. You could speak to your spouse and say, basically, I want to alter our agreement about keeping my collection out of the site and in a man cave because I'm running out of space and I want to expand the collection into your living room. I think that's very, very dangerous and may result in a black eye of some sort. So I think maybe do that one at your own risk. But it is an option, I suppose. Like if your other half is willing to let you put stuff into the living room or the bathroom or just randomly.
Oh, Shane, did I send you that picture that I got Thanos 1-to-1 gauntlet on my nightstand next to the bed? My wife is like, "What the fuck is this?"
That was a bold move. Bold move, Cotton.
So I go in there and I turn on the gems, so like they're glowing, like as we're getting ready for bed. And she's like, "What did I marry?" But I ran out of space, man.
So just put the massive glove right next to the nightstand. That is quite funny. Has anyone what? I'm making jokes about this, but down in my living room, I've got an IKEA Mills boat. It's if you're not familiar with it, it's a very nice looking kind of, I think it's an aluminium framed glass case, and there's 4 sections in it, and it has a little kind of a key and stuff like that. It's actually quite nice. It looks really nice when there's just one per shelf too as well. But that's where I have my troopers, and Megan doesn't mind, which is fantastic. Now I know maybe you should change your mind in the future, but it's got I had the troopers down at the moment, but I do have a vision for it that I have 8 figures down there and have like hero, villain, hero, villain, hero, villain. Like I know maybe like the DX-19 and the In-Art Joker. Maybe you might have like Doc Ock and a Spider-Man. Household names that when people come in, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's Deadpool. I know him. Oh, that's Vader and Luke." So that no matter who you are, whether you're into comic books or movies or science fiction, you come in, you go, "Oh God, that's pretty cool." That's Vader, that's Luke, and that's who in Iron Man and Loki or whatever. So that might be something. But anyone else tried this?
Yeah, I have. I have displays. Yeah. Go ahead. What'd you say?
Oh, absolutely. I'm in the process of this just now, but not the living room. So I've got the back there. So this is my office room with collection, and I've got a TV there for gaming. So underneath the TV, I've got other Modu cases coming, and then on this floor in the house, just outside the room, I've got a landing area. So there's 4 Modu cases coming there. That will be filled up by the end of the year, everything installed with summon boxes. So then straight across from my office, we've got a movie room, and as of tonight, I have negotiated that I can expand in that room.
You put in planning permission.
So your people talk to her people. You had the contracts drawn up.
Listen, I'm a very lucky man that Lucy is quite into the whole collecting idea. It's probably cost. Probably because I've said that I'll take her on holiday. So
Oh man, so this is a trade-off. Gotcha. Has anyone else attempted this tactic, this dangerous
Hell
tactic?
no.
No,
hell no. What? See, the thing is, I don't have to, because down here I have, like, I'm sort of like, I got, again, here, especially on the East Coast over here in the States, we have a thing called basements, of course. And my office and everything is down here in the basement, so I have limited room. All my boxes, unfortunately, you know what? Have you ever? Never mind. I looked at all the damn boxes that I have from like my collection. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of figures. But everything down here is pretty much limited space for me, unlimited space for me. So I'm good. I don't have to actually worry about, if there's a spacing issue, I have enough room to kind of modify. Plus, I don't trust putting shit upstairs at all. I don't. It's 4 girls in this house, and one of them could run around and knock something over, and I'm like, I don't trust it. They don't come down here. I don't invade their privacy, don't invade mine. So I am cool. I love the simple fact that Toya, she supports my habit. I call it a habit to the point where she's even involved. I mean, right there, if you see that, it right here is her. That's her armor. It's not mine. Mine is over there in the case, but she just wants me to put it in the case because she doesn't have anywhere to put it. So I volunteered, of course. But yeah, I don't invade her space. She doesn't invade mine, and that's just how it is. So I would never put like I wouldn't want her coming home and just seeing like a whole bunch of figures on the table upstairs. She'd be like, "What the hell is this?" Like, nah, I don't even trust it. I don't trust anybody around anything I have. So this is how it
That's
is.
fair. Ryan Smith says, "I just got married. It's too early for a divorce to try this tactic." It's quite funny. And Trevor 16 Shooter said, he goes, "I don't even want my collection in the living room." Fair point. So, but look, it's it is an option. It depends on your living situation, stuff like that. Maybe some couples collect together, and that could be an option. Like, so look, this is just a photo I took earlier on.
Cool.
Nice.
Because floating shelves are a way of capitalizing on some vertical space. I'm actually going to add one to the left as well for the quarter scale Batman. I have a little bit of space there. It'll look all right when I've finished. But in my Tetris I was playing today, I took the Superman out. I had the Superman with that Justice League stand, and I had it posed in the DTOF, and I had to curve it all the way back because I wanted to use the stand to make him levitate. But obviously, if I just had the stand straight up, it wouldn't fit in the DTOF. So I bent the stand back and bent it forward, and just enough that he was levitating. It looked quite well. So he was in one cube, and the armored Batman was in the next cube. And they've been like that for like a year. So today I was like, I want to get rid of the stands, and I want to pose them standing next to each other and see what they're like. And I was today years old until I realized how bad that Justice League Superman is at posing. You cannot get his arms down by the side. No matter what I did, he just stood awkwardly. He looks good levitating, because if the way he has it levitating, there's decent enough articulation in the legs to make a natural pose. The cape is actually the stock cape. It's hanging well enough. And his arms, like, it kind of looks like he could be like that if he was levitating there ready for action. But putting him standing, I could not get him to look good. Now, I didn't spend that long with him, but it was like, so eventually I took him out and just put him up there. So these are floating shelves. These are called IKEA Lax, and they are like $6 each, and they're really easy to install. So KS, where'd you get them? They're IKEA Lax. They're so easy to install. And if you have some vertical space that you're not capitalizing on, just gives you a different way to space. So this is like in front of me. Or, like say that Thanos there is not going to fit in a DTOF, or quarter scales won't. So it's it's just another way of capitalizing on space, really, So
Shane, I've got the Lax above me here, like the whole.
You got the longer ones, don't you?
Yeah, I've got probably about 60 signed WWE figures above me here.
I remember you told me about them.
Yeah, and they look great. Yeah, the floating shelves look really good.
Those do look really good. Do you guys all have your windows blacked out?
I've got a blackout blind.
Yeah, blackout blind. Yeah.
I don't even have windows down here. Period.
Right, you're in a basement. Yeah. Right.
You don't trust the light, man.
No.
It'll burn up those figures.
Oh
yeah,
for sure.
Focus. You can definitely work the shelf thing. I can't do it. I have the worst luck anchoring them to the wall, and then dusting too much for you personally. I tip my hat to you. I appreciate it. You just get one of those cloths, quick wipe, done. It's not a particularly dusty room, but I do actually quite like. I'm actually liking how the Superman is posed there. But as I was trying to get him to stand today, and I realized, like, I heard people complain about the arms being so big you can't put them down by the sides, and I heard they fixed it with the black suit Superman. But as I was doing it, I was like, you know what?
Wait for the in-art.
Yeah, like I was thinking suddenly I'm a little bit more interested. But I have to say, the pose I have been now looking up, it looks, I'm happy enough with. So look, floating shelves are another option if you are stuck for space.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. There's two parts to this. This is Dan's part. Dan, do you want to take this one? This was your suggestion.
This is what I've always done for ages. Is just because I like it to be all uniform. So I get these stands from eBay. You know, like they get them in Hong Kong or China. I buy 10 or 20. I've got a friend that does, or a guy that's on Facebook. People know Joe Turner. He does the decals, and there you go. I do know that perhaps I'm missing out on some great stands like the DX20, you know, the Luke Bespin and things like that. But I just sort of like the uniforms, because obviously not. I know. To be honest, I'd rather use no stands, but I know in some figures they don't stand up very well. There are some that, you know, you put up and they're a bit wobbly, and, you know, I've got wooden floors here, so if I'm walking and you can see like, just not all the time, but, you know, you just see I'd rather do that. So I've just got all these, you know, not probably the prettiest stands, so to speak, but they're enough, give me enough room to put everything around. So I'm sort of, but they all look quite nice when they're all like completely uniform, in my opinion. But again, that's everyone's different. So
I like that. You said you get custom name placards. Is that what
yeah.
Cool.
So all the stands the same, and then you still have the name on them though.
Exactly the same. So we'll have all Star Wars would be the Star Wars logo with Luke Skywalker, and then you'd have, you know, Suicide Squad with Harley Quinn or whatever like that. But, you know, that's the way I've always done it, and
gotcha.
It just all looks the same.
My space saving method was the opposite of yours. Mine was ditch the stands.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a standist.
I like that though.
Stands.
I do like not having the stands, but it's just I can see them just like that. So
I get you. Yeah. Like, I'm not a fan of the dreaded sand base, or even like the rectangular Star Wars ones, or the diamond or octagon or whatever.
Some of them are so big though. That's the thing. Like the room, you know, like
no, that is absolutely true. And I know that other people say, like, if you have like floorboards that bounce a bit, that's going to cause a vibration. It can knock things over. If you're living on a fault line, if you've got young kids who, you know, are running around, so it's not an option for a lot of people to not use stand. I totally get that. I just find space saving, it's a cleaner look. But my God, if Hot Toys keep doing stands like that Bespin Luke, that is such an amazing base. I only plugged it in today and I paired it up with the CCFL. I can't wait to share the review and when I get it set up properly and everything. I'm just so impressed by it. It's much more than a stand. It's like a diorama scene. It's an environmental piece of Bespin, and the light up effect just sets it off, like, you know. So
I love that was the collector stand too. That wasn't, you know, the
it's
deluxe.
Almost like they made a mistake.
Right.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, shout out to Docinator. What's up, crew? My first live with Focus. Hope you're doing well. I thought maybe you were here before, but maybe I've seen you so much in other streams. But I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. We got Copper in the building as well. Great to see everyone dropping in, especially the open air displays like the floating shelves. The funny thing is, like, I think the Iron Patriot took a tumble one day, and I thought, well, that's it. He's going to be in bits, and a few little bits that stick onto him, you know, the bits, the swap out parts fell off, but that was it. And I realized that his feet weren't flat, and that taught me a lot that day. And yeah, so there's no stands there. The Mark 85 is stand because I want them, you know, in a flight pose, but the Iron Patriot is just standing up, is flat-footed, and rockets just bouncing on him, like. So, like, I was away for 2 weeks. I came back and I was like, all right, I wonder if anything's on the floor, but no, they're fine. It just takes a bit of patience getting the center of gravity right. But yeah, so moving on.
That's cool.
We've done that. So this is like, I think every collector has a bit of OCD as well. I know that everyone either doesn't like or can't subscribe or has too many figures to do the one figure per shelf look. I just really love that look. But like, some figures, like say Arthur and Thomas Shelby, like, they have to be paired together. I love the look of the Mark 6 and the Iron Man, the Iron Man Mark 6 and the War Machine Mark 1 and stuff like that. Or like there you got Boba and Mando or whatever. But it's like selective pairing, not just like, for me with the 5 details, it's like not just the figures you pair with each other in the cubes, but where they are in relation to each other as well. Like even here, say there's like, okay, there's 2 here with the 2 Terminators. It makes sense that, you know, you put one over the other side for, like, it just adds a kind of a more symmetry for it. I think it actually looks a bit cleaner as well. Like, yeah. So again, that might be a bit of a stretch. That's definitely my OCD coming in there. rotating figures. Does anyone rotate figures? Does anyone actually box figures up, bring
I'm
out other
currently-
ones?
I'm doing that now just because of the unique
Talk to us
situation.
about that.
So like this whole unit keeps changing, because I got that Nightmare Batman and Superman set in, and it was so freaking awesome that I just didn't want to put it back in the box. So that was up here for a little while, but I stress out in here because I've got windows all over the place. I have fluctuating humidity going on. So what I'm doing is like I'm kind of rotating troopers and things that are mostly plastic and not as much pleather, and things that I think are a little more durable. So that's what I've been doing. But I know other people do it just because they got more figures than space and they just want to see their figures all the time. I'm doing it mostly because I want to see some and I don't want to damage others.
Yeah, gotcha. It's something that like I often thought, like, forget the stage where I still want to maintain one figure per shelf. It's something I would consider just boxing some up, putting them away. But then again, I do think about what Jay Brother Cousin says. Sometimes when you box something up, it can be the kiss of death. But I suppose it depends. Like if you've mentally prepared yourself for, okay, I got 5 details by 5. That's 25. I want to display the 25, one for a shelf, and then sometimes I might have 25 in storage, and then every few months maybe take them out. Not them all, but maybe take out 5 at a time. Do a repose, box up 5, keeps it flat, refresh, and turn it over. It was actually Roy Visser on 6 Scale Scavengers. Was the first person I heard talk about that. He's a strong advocate, one per shelf. I think he uses Billy's or something like that, but he always had a beautiful looking display, like, so Lael, you good for another few minutes, or do you need to go now? Or
I got a few minutes.
cool. I think we're nearly towards the end anyway now. So selling figures. So again, like I'm not a big seller, but I have sold in the past, and I probably will sell again. Typically when I buy something, I have a vision that it's in the collection long term, but sometimes whether it's a graying issue on an upgraded suit, or maybe I buy something and I realize that was a misstep there, you didn't like it as much as you thought you did. It doesn't happen that often, but it does happen. Or maybe a superior version comes out. There's talk that InArt are going to do 1/6 scale Terminators. Who knows when that would be? Who knows if it's even true? But if it does and it knocks it out of the park, I'm definitely going to throw an eye at that. Anything that says Terminator 1 and 2 in it. But so I will sell from time to time. Typically the ones in the past I've sold are ones which superior versions came out. For example, I had the very first thing, it's an MMS 67 or 68. I had both of them actually. It was like a Batman from The Dark Knight, but it was the Batman Begins suit. Very, very dated figure, started showing its age. The Joker as well, dated figure, started showing its age. Sold it, upgraded to the InArt, and that's something that I think is like a move that I'm happy I did, because I'm looking at the InArt Joker and I love it and stuff like that. Rarely, sometimes you get something you're like, no, you didn't like this as much as you thought you did. It does happen. We're only human, but it doesn't happen too much. But I'll sell from time to time. Ian, do you sell figures?
I have done in the past, obviously years ago when I cannibalized the collection, but in terms of what I've got just now, no. I've got a few figures that I've bought that I don't feel fits in with the current situation, so they're in a box. Although my best figures that I've got, the Bruce Lee DX04, the double pack, that's in a box, same as Ip Man, because I'm waiting on the other Mojo cases coming, because I want a Kung Fu Masters shelf. And actually on that point, I'm still waiting on somebody going to do a custom Lyle Rockwell Jim Kelly figure for me to go on that shelf. So somebody needs to do that figure, and then I can create this beautiful display.
That's funny.
But no, I don't see me selling figures that I've got, especially the way I buy now. You know, I really sit on it. I don't jump on the hype. I really think about it. Whereas before, I think when I first collected, I wanted to fill a space. So on the first phase off when I was collecting years
I
ago,
gotcha.
I kind of bought figures that I didn't like too much,
Mhm.
and then got rid of them.
So does anyone else on the panel then like sell figures or want to give their thoughts about selling figures?
Yeah,
Well, I've sold. Sorry, Leo.
No good, Dan.
I've sold loads. I've done a video on it. My collection's gone from quarter scale to all Star Wars to Marvel to this is no word of lie, probably sold 100 figures, over 100 figures. I've had everything from, I don't know, Jack Sparrow to customs to I've talked about this before with you, Shane, but I think one of my things is I have to sell to buy, so to speak. So I need, if there's, to fund the 4 figures I got in this week, I had to sell some because I like I have a budget, and don't get me wrong, there are times where I just want to buy a figure, I'll buy a figure, but sometimes I look at stuff and go, I can sell that and get this in, and then just like that. But that's just the way I collect. It's just one of those things. But I think it has calmed down a lot in the last few years.
So you kind of you would sell to fund your collection, like, as in, like, I've been fairly vocal, like, since, like, I don't buy figures to make money off them. I think that's a pipe dream, especially in this market.
Not
like,
nowadays.
But I get that sometimes, like, I accept that, like, if I have a figure and a superior version comes out and I've made the decision that I want the superior one and I no longer need the one that's I deem inferior, I accept I'm going to take a loss on this. What can you buy brand new and sell in a year or two time and get more money for? There's not too many things. I know there's certain assets appreciate, but I'm not talking about like gold or stocks or whatever. Like, I'm just talking about typical things, hobbies, like, I know that, like, true collectibles, that are, I know, limited in nature, you can sometimes hold them, sell them, and they appreciate in value, but that's not why I collect these things. So if I'm selling something, I accept I'm taking a loss. And I've said before that if I buy something for $300 and it sits on my shelf for a year and I enjoy it and I decide I sell it then for $200, some people say, yeah, well, you lost $100. I would argue that the $100 that I paid, you divide that $100 by 365 days and work out that's the number of cents that you chose, that you had to spend per day to enjoy that figure.
I've done that.
It's a different mind frame of looking at it.
Do you guys also feel that it's like it feels mentally liberating to know you can get rid of something? It proves to yourself that, okay, I'm not just, and there's nothing wrong with not selling, but for me, I have sold before. Like, I sold that quarter scale Enter Bay Batman. Like, Dean Knight would refund my super chats if he heard me say that. But it felt good to know that I could, like, I kept the Bruce Wayne head. I kept a few of the other items, clearly explained that in the eBay auction.
Yeah.
And I sold it. It sold for more than I bought it for. And I felt great about that, So yes, I've let go of certain things, but then it was able to fund other things, and I don't sell a lot, but the things I've sold, I've done well with. So.
Yeah, I would be the opposite. I don't think I've ever sold something, and I've never sold something and like, 3 times back, like, just no. I think I made €50 on one thing before. I had a second copy of the DX19, and I think I got $50 extra for that or something like that. But sorry, Lael, you were about to say something there.
No, like I said, I mean, if anything that I've sold because it was necessary at that point. It just made the most sense. Again, anything that I collect with meaning. It's just, something that I have that's important to me based on, when it was. But yeah, I don't, unless I necessarily have to, or again, if just the love for that figure is not there. I mean, it wasn't that the love for the Beskar Mando wasn't there. It's just that I got a far more superior figure with the, Chrome Mando. It's definitely more superior than that one. So I was like, you know what, Space Saver, let me get rid of that one, offload it whenever I can.
makes sense.
That's a perfect example, Leo.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously, me, I'm not a completionist.
Yeah.
So when it comes to The Mandalorian, I think of the characters from the episodes that blew my mind. That's why Ahsoka's there. That's why the Boba Roba 2-pack's there. That's why Mando Luke is there. And obviously, you're not going to have a Mandalorian collection without a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And as much as I love that Grogu pack,
Yeah.
I know that it's not the best version out there. The one with the chrome is the best version.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes I think about selling this one and getting the chrome and picking up the accessory pack, because that would be technically more accurate, because the hoverpram that comes with the Beskar version that wasn't chrome is actually from season 1 and more paired with the OG, whereas the accessory pack Yoda comes with the actual hoverpram from season 2. You know what I mean? And that they know that as well when they're doing it. But sorry, continue on.
No, that's it. I mean, I think that's what makes the most sense is, having, the figures that, we sometimes you'll get like a certain figure in, like for instance, the first Jedi Luke, then there was like the second edition that was like the special edition with the, the deleted scene. And then you have the other version for, Endor. So you had that. So there were 3 different versions. Those, I was like, I'm a Luke fan, so it's kind of hard. So to get rid of, those because of what they represented at that particular time. And I pretty much have every single version of Luke, thanks to my guy, Agent Silver Fox, that's sitting down there as well. But yeah, I mean, it just makes the most sense that if you have a figure that, you get in and you get a secondary one, it's the same figure, but one's more superior. Then if you're not going to use that one, you don't want to put in the box, then sell it to somebody may have interest in it. You know what I mean? And that's what makes more sense to me. But other than that, every single figure that I have in my collection is a figure that I've wanted and, I'm excited about.
Leo, I've got a question. So like me, you've got Wonder Woman Justice League version and Wonder Woman 84.
Yep.
Are you displaying both of those figures?
Yeah, because they're 2 totally different representations. So that's why it makes sense to me to have. And plus, it's with that particular, and it's Wonder Woman, bro. Stop playing. You know what I mean? So it's just what it basically represents to me, what it means to me to have the figure in hand. So that's why, I have them displayed. Like I have 184, the 84 displayed a certain way with the cloak, and then I have the Justice League version because that would it would be more related to like BVS in the Justice League than anything else. You know what I mean? So that's what makes it makes sense for me, and that's why it works.
Cool, good stuff.
Shane, as a golden ratio triangle situation, would you consider starting at the top, going to the corner to give yourself more, more figures?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. So like you say, the top of the detail from the middle one start and then go down. Yeah, 100%, absolutely. Okay. Now again, it's a thought, and it doesn't always work. Like when I rotated and changed it a bit of my Hot Toys Tetris today, I still wanted to pose the T800 from Terminator 1 next to the DX13, and just because I'm doing things by lines, the top line's OT, the middle line is just movies that I just absolutely love, and then like the third line is, I say, my Mando display. So it doesn't always work, but I have noticed it does look better when I do, if I'm posing 2 or 3 into one detail, that it balances out. So we're kind of getting to, I think this is the last, but yeah, this is the last one. So art box storage, I got rid of all my shippers. I put them in the bin. I hang on to 1 or 2 in case I have to sell something and need a shipper. Somebody might sell an upgraded suit Spider-Man with a, DX19 box or whatever. So, but I keep the art boxes and keep the plastic and stuff. I put them in these big IKEA drums and I put them up in the attic, so they're out of the way, so they're protected. They're in the box, they're in the plastic. The box seals the lid on all these big boxes, and typically they fit about 10 each. It's just so if there's a leak or something like that, they're protected from the elements or whatever. And of course, like the figures I tend to repose a lot, I take out their accessories out of the box and put them in a tackle box that I have just here to my left. Like anyone here get rid of the shippers? I want to know, does anyone, we're wrapping up now, but anyone here anti-shipper?
No, definitely don't.
Keep everything.
I keep them because, like I said, for me, it protects the art box, and if I have to offload it, at least I have that shipper that's there. But yeah, I just don't, because the thing is over time, if you unprotected, the art boxes can fade or whatever. So for me, just having them in the actual shipper, I'm good.
Yeah, gotcha.
Hot Toys, I'm too nervous to get rid of that stuff. Yeah, 7-inch scale stuff, it's all gone. All accessories are in tackle boxes and stuff like that. But Hot Toys, I can't do it.
Yeah. Anyone get rid of the art boxes? No.
Heck
No.
no.
Hell no.
Crazy talk.
You see, Mr. Mom makes videos of himself walking out to his trash can and dumping.
Yeah,
them in
yeah.
there.
He does not care.
No.
But like again,
I keep them because because I talk about that I sell stuff. So
yeah.
it's always good to, like you said, to sell. But in the UK, a lot of us don't get the shippers as well. So,
But even if you don't sell, if you move,
Yeah,
you want
exactly.
your figure protected.
I always keep them.
100%. Yeah,
And they protect.
yeah.
That's the other thing, Leo. They
Yeah.
protect the things. But I also keep the boxes that come in the shippers.
Yeah.
So because we use the loft, so I use it for that. Because then if I do sell, then I've got the box. I can just put it back in and then tape it up again and then do that. So I've actually got the
We
original
are
boxes that come in
all
the shipper.
crazy.
Yes, we
We're
are.
all crazy. Yeah. Any non-collector watching this would be like Megan described this to one of her friends. Yeah, so like he collects these like high quality like action figures, and she's like she'd be like, they do look amazing, but like then they come in this box with all this like like accessories, right? And it's like a clamshell, and that comes in another box called the art box, and that comes in plastic, and that comes in this brown shipper, and then he stores them in a box. He's fucking crazy. It's like, stop telling that story, but look guys, thanks very much for coming here. Thanks very much to the people in the chat. Really do appreciate it. So like just really briefly, Ian, do you want to outline the kind of very generous giveaway donation thing that we're running?
Yeah, so are we agreed on it's 3k subs? Yeah.
Yeah, I think 3k. Maybe give us something to work
Yeah.
towards. Yeah.
So we've agreed with Shane. We're going to do a 3k giveaway. So everybody subscribe, please, if you're not already. So we're going to give away Winter Soldier, Hot Toys Winter Soldier Civil War version. In my opinion, that's the best Winter Soldier figure that we've got to date. Don't know if Lale would agree, but certainly for me, that's my favourite one. So, yeah, we're doing a giveaway, and that will include shipping. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've got
Thanks
anything
very
else to
much.
add, Shane.
Nice.
No, just very appreciate you donating that to the channel. That's massively appreciated. So,
It's
yeah,
brand new,
if
brand new in box, unopened.
yeah, it's like, and some might say that might be a G word, and I'm sure it is to some people. So, obviously, massive thank you to you, Ian, for that. That's amazing. Paying for shipping as well is very appreciative. Any customs or tax the person has to bear themselves. But what we're going to do is we'll promote it over the next few weeks, probably months. It'll probably take me a while to get up to 3k. We're on about 2,220 ish at the moment, and then when it gets closer to 2,900, we'll kind of outline how we're going to do it. As in, it'll more than likely be you'll have to be subscribed, you'll have to be present in the live chat, and we'll ask a question. It could be just quickest person to give the correct answer, something like that. But look, we'll promote it and we'll let you know over the next few weeks and months and see how that goes. So if you're not yet subscribed, please do subscribe. So does anyone want to plug their channel or anything they're coming up? Because I know people have to go. Or anyone want to?
Just again, thanks for having me here, bro. Comic Book Talk with Friends tonight. We'll be actually doing a deep dive into the season or episode 4 of Secret Invasions. We're going to also talk about Bob Iger's comments, both comments that he actually made over the weekend, which one was completely fucking stupid, excuse the expression. And let me see here. Well, we got that. We got Say What Wednesday. We have Figure Flex Friday, and Collectors Lounge International next Sunday. So yeah, if you haven't already subscribed to the Wednesday Scale on YouTube channel, make sure you do. I'm approaching 4,000 subscribers, so trying to get there. So if you can help brother out, definitely appreciate that. Thanks for everybody here, and I'm so glad to see everybody here on the panel. So yeah, that's it.
Excellent stuff. Thanks very much. So if you haven't done so already, follow the 16 Man on Instagram and subscribe to 16 Man on YouTube. So anything you want to plug, Dan?
My channel's I've just put up today my Cad Bane review. It's got King Sharks up there, Fennec Shan, Cosca Reeves all this week. So yeah, have a look.
You've been busy.
And yeah, have been. And yeah, just if you can subscribe, that'd be amazing.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks for coming on. And then we got Mike. So
Yeah.
there you go. There's your details.
Yeah, man. I don't have a channel, so subscribe to all these guys. These guys are amazing. And then I would be remiss if I didn't say hello to my friends and encourage you to check them out because now they watch these streams. My buddy Sean, he owns Fat Moose Comics in Whippany, New Jersey. If you're in Whippany, if you're in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Tri-State area, hit up Fat Moose. Those guys are awesome. And then if you're looking for hot toys, Toy Wiz in Nanuet, New York is great. And no, I don't get any kickbacks from these dudes. They're just nice guys, and they're a cool place to buy these things if you're looking for them. Because I know hot toys are hard to find in person.
Excellent stuff. And last but not least, Ian.
Tomorrow I'm doing a guest slot on Reviews with Rich show tomorrow night, 9 p.m. GMT. So yeah, I'm doing that, and then hopefully receive all my orders from a certain company. That's what I've got to look forward to.
Good stuff.
Hey.
Thanks very much for. I'm going to light a candle for you both. Yeah, look, that's massive thank you to everyone for coming, everyone participating in the chat and giving up your time to come on. We're going to pretty much end it now. I'm going to make a video to get tomorrow. I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow because basically part of the 6 scale Hot Toys Tetris I was doing today was because I have a few CCFLs that I need to wire up, and I wanted to make sure that they're in the right place before I wire them, because actually once you've wired them up, it's a bit of a hassle getting them out if you want to change your mind. So I've got a few fusions coming in, a few CCFLs, reviews on Cad Bane when he arrives, Tommy and Arthur Shelby, and that beautiful Esmond Luke. So looking forward to doing that. I'm also going to make a video called shit we're not going to get, because instead of doing prediction, I'm going to tell you what we're not going to get for Toy Fairs exclusive. I think we're done. And yeah, that's it. See you later, folks. Good luck.
Thanks, boys.
See ya.